Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Gifted Hippos here, back at it again with another amazing Stormbound video. In today's video, I have something special for y'all because I'm going to be showing off the best deck for every single faction in the June 2025 season. So if you guys enjoy this, make sure to drop a like, comment your favorite part, and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get straight into it with the Swarm deck. So the Swarm deck is Pirates, okay? It looks kind of weird. Some of you may have never seen this build before, but the whole function of the deck is to play Collector Mertz. It makes a 10 strength token and adds it to your deck, okay? The important part is that this token costs 0 mana, okay? Costs 0 mana, meaning that when you play Treasure's Bossins with all 3 mana cards in your hand, there is nothing cheaper in the deck other than the 0 cost token. Meaning you play Collector Mertz. Let's say you play Collector Mertz on 4 mana. You play Bossins on 5 mana with a hand full of all of these 3 mana units. Any one of them works. More than half the deck is these cards, okay? Bossins will cycle it and give you a Merch token. Phenomenal deck. And then you also have the backup plan of Lucky Charmers. And the Pirates are also really good in the early game, really good in the late game, great at cycling. You get to tons and tons of Merch tokens, okay? Let's go through the card by card, show off a little bit of the strategy. So we have Angelic Tikas. It's just one of the best 3-drops. Teleports things, moves forward, great at getting out of clogged board states, great at finishing the game. Got Boomstick Officers, probably the best 3-mana card in the game right now. Collector Mertz, the whole focus of the deck. It works with Bossins, it works with all your pirates, just a great card. And then we have First Mutineer. It's another pirate that costs 3 mana, and it also gives you the added bonus of cycling faster. We have Forgotten Souls, which is used to trigger Bossins again, also used in combination with Lucky Charmers to steal wins out of nowhere. We got Freebooters, another great pirate, draws cards. Strict Quartermasters can search your Bossins or your Lucky Charmers. Vindictive Wretches, great in the early game, really helps you clear those board states. Westwind Sailors, another 3-cost pirate. And then we have Gold Grubbers, replaces 2 of your non-pirate cards. So let's say you get stuck with like Wretches and Boomstick in your hand. You want to see more of your sauce. You use Gold Grubbers, cycle those away, get closer to Merch tokens and your really expensive pirates. And then we have Bossins, cycling your cards. It does everything. It's focal point of the deck. And then we have Lucky Charmers, which oftentimes you play on 6 mana for 25 strength and your opponent cannot do anything. They just lose the game. So anyways, that's the deck breakdown. Let's get straight into the game. Nice. It looks like we found our match up against Coco Rico 77. This guy's playing Ironclad. It's probably... Let's see. We'll see his first card, and then we'll be able to know what he's playing. This guy's known for playing Ironclad chip, though. With stuff like Overchargers. And he plays a sneaky amount of just cheap cards that move. He really loves Tigor. Back last season, a couple seasons ago, he was playing Urn to play a bunch of spells. A lot of the buff spells like Clap of Thunder and Tonic. So we'll cycle Lucky Charmers. We don't want that early hand. And my goodness, Collector Merch turn 1. This is so good. This is the dream. You want to have Collector Merch turn 1. And then you're going to want to play Bossins turn 2. Get a token. You're winning. It's just great. So Destructibots, that doesn't tell us anything at all. If we see the next card, maybe we'll be able to know. We're either going to have to play Gold Grubbers next turn to cycle it, because if you keep it in hand when you have Bossins, it'll just cycle the Gold Grubbers rather than one of your 3 costs and get you a token. And we don't want that. We want the tokens. We could see an original blueprints. I believe that's the name of the card. It's been getting very popular lately. Yeah, there's blueprints. So it'll give some strength to that. And unfortunately, if we clear that, we run into Debug Loggers, but we have to clear it. So, alright, let's play Gold Grubbers. We find Quartermasters. We'll cycle... Cycle First Mutineer. Drop Boomstick. So we'll probably go Boomstick Wretches. We'll cycle Freebooters. We'll play Boomstick Wretches. And we'll see where that gets us. If Debug Loggers come out here, it's scary. Because then we'll have to find Tikas and confuse them and hope that they run into each other. Which, if they do, we just win the game. And if they don't, we're in a tough spot. Opponent could also have linked golems. They could have linked golems, windmakers. If they're struggling to make their play, it's almost certain that they don't have debug loggers, meaning that they'll either draw it next turn or they cycled it turn 1. So we have a green prototypes. Do we see link golems? We see sparkly kittens. Ooh, that is, yeah. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. And an unstable build. You know, we are fine with that. So let's just cycle freebooters. No Bossons? No way. How do we have merch turn 1 but no Bossons to go with it? That is criminal. So I guess we'll play Boomstick. And then we'll play Wretches on the right-hand side. And hope that the Confused Construct does not walk into them. Yeah. That's our best bet. If the Confused Construct does not walk into them, what'll happen is if he plays Debug Loggers right here and attempts to move into our Wretches will trigger first and either take out his Debug Loggers or something. I don't know. It's just a good spot. And also this blocks fully against stuff like Hearthguards. So he has a Tigor. Wretches will take out the Tigor. Hopefully it doesn't deal damage. It deals damage. That's fine though. We'll just play Bossons and get nearly a full clear. Boxins, it'll cycle Quartermasters. Not the greatest. We wanted to keep those. But we'll play Token. And then we'll cycle Tikas. Find another Mertz. Okay, so we'll cycle Mertz. Hope to draw a Pirate. And then we'll play Lucky Charmers on the biggest thing that he has. Yeah, what we could see here is something like Gifted Recruits or Saber Paws into Debug Loggers. Or just Erratic Neglects into Debug Loggers. So let's see. It's only 7 mana, so you can't have something like Operators or Eternal Ethereals. A Naked Link Golems. What is this? An unstable build. Maybe something in the pocket? No, nothing in the pocket. So, almost certainly there's a Debug Loggers in hand. At least by now. So we'll just play Lucky Charmers. And we'll play it on this construct. That's fine. We draw Gold Grubbers. Goodness, our cycling is so bad right now. Not drawing Bossons for that many turns. Oh, our opponent just got super unlucky. This hook can confuse itself. Yeah, not drawing Bossons for that many turns, though, really screws with this. And the chance of that happening is so low that oftentimes you just have to ignore it, right? Ignore it as a statistical chance because there's no way you should be drawing your Bossons that late in the game. Especially with so many cycle cards. As Windmakers comes out, deals a bunch of damage. We'll probably see another Sparkly Kittens or Blueprints. There's Blueprints. So it's looking like we're going to have a full clear here. We will trade Gold Grubbers. Nice, and we found our Bossons. So let's play Bossons in the back. Cycles Westwind. We'll play the Token. We'll play Forgotten Souls, move them both up. Trigger Bossons again. We get another Token. We'll play that Token on the left-hand side. And we'll pass turn. If our opponent does not take out Bossons, it will trigger again. We have a handful of 3 costs, and it'll find us another Token. Let's see. Opponent's thinking. I definitely see how this guy got to number 2 so early in the season. Because this is a pretty fast construct that he's playing. Just looks like he got a bit unlucky with the draw. Same as us, honestly, but his was a lot worse. So Sparkly Kittens. We see a Destructobots and probably Debug Loggers. Yeah, there's a Debug Loggers. It'll give strength to Destructobots. Our next hand is looking pretty good. We'll probably just play Boomstick, Quartermasters, Wretches, and that'll clear everything. We'll play the Boomstick Officers here. We'll play Quartermasters here. And then we'll play Wretches on this, which will be at 5 strength. The Debug Loggers in the front will be at 5 strength. I'll show you guys. So, it's at 5. We'll play Quartermasters, see what we get. We get Westwind. I don't want that. And then we'll just clear everything. Nice. So we'll probably cycle Mertz. And then we'll play Tikas, Moonir to finish off the game. Or we'll play something like Gold Grubbers. And then Freebooters? I don't know. We see another Tigor come out. So he should have ran through the 1 strength, actually, because he has a small chance for Tigor to deal damage to the 1 strength. But I imagine our opponent does not care too much. We'll just cycle Mertz here. There's a pretty high chance that we draw into Forgotten Souls at some point, too. And we'll go for the full clear. So let's see. Play Bossins. Cycles First Manir. We'll play the token. We'll play Tikas. And then we'll play Freebooters right here. Pocket in our Bossins, so that way even if our opponent somehow manages to get all the way over here, they are still blocked by the Freebooters. Because if you guys didn't know, anytime you try and hit a unit in the corner, like let's say there's a unit right here, a unit that is above it will always take priority in being attacked. So from our opponent's point of view, we have a unit that's pocketing in our guy. Let's see, destructive bots. Okay, that's a good blocking attempt. Pretty sure this is still game though. So let's see what Boston's get. If it gets token, it's just over. It did not. Okay, we'll play Quartermaster, see what that gets. Gets a Boston's. Okay, and then Boston's is guaranteed to cycle Gold Grubbers, and we'll Forgotten Souls for the win. Good game. Alright, so that was a pretty good first match, showcasing off the power of Boston's and Swarm. And yeah, let's just get into the next deck. Alrighty guys, so the next deck we have to showcase is Winter Control. The past couple metas have been pretty mid-range heavy, so this is just by far the best way you can play Winter right now. Control has a great matchup against mid-range, and when I get into the card by card, you'll see how there's also a lot of tools we have against the current meta. So starting off at the low end, we have Sparkly Kittens, Wild Saber Paws. You just need some cheap cards early. Hunter's Vengeance clears all of those very annoying, pesky Swarm Rush, Ironclad Rush, Shadowfen Rush, sometimes even Winter Rush decks. You need this for the early game. It's good late game. Great card. We have Trekking Alderman, probably one of the best 3-drops you can play. Pairs very well with Hunter's Vengeance. Vindictive Wretches, another phenomenal 3-drop, also pairs very well with Hunter's Vengeance. We have Gray the Balancer. If you go second and play this card, you might as well shake their hand. The game is over. It controls the board extremely well, and it's very difficult to remove. And then we have Siege Breakers for all the buildings matchups. You could also run Execution in this spot, but I prefer Siege Breakers because it's also a body. We have Harvesters of Souls. If games go long, especially against other control decks, you're going to want to steal all of their good cards, such as Freebooters, Lady Rhyme, Siren, Ulf. You can even steal their own copies of Harvester's Souls and craft a whole new deck. It's a great card. Really needed to win the Control Mirror match. We have Terrifying Behemoths. Let's see. If we look at all of the current 6-mana cards you can play that remove things. We have... Actually, we'll look at 5 and 6 mana. There's Void Surgers. There's Luris. We have Snowdrifts, which just got buffed. We have Victors of the Melee, which is pretty bad, and Twilight Prowlers. This card is Siren and something like Victors in the Melee all in one. It just has a great ability, great body, and it pairs very well with Earthfathers because it reduces strength for each type, and Earthfathers has 2 types. As well, almost every single card in your deck has a different type, right? Gray the Balancer is your Ancient. Siege Breakers is your Satyr. Harvester's Souls is your Undead. We have your Raven, your Elder, your Feline, right? So you're going to have things getting reduced by 18, 19 strength. Your opponents really don't have the ability to create those big threats. And then we have Earthfathers, just a great card to stick on the board. It survives Hunter's Vengeance, survives a lot of the AoE that's popular right now. We have Gift of the Wise, a mainstay of any Winter Control deck. Great card. And then we have Ulf the Hammer. It's your runner. It's your way to beat Chip. Great card. So anyways, that's deck breakdown. Let's get right into our match. It looks like we found our match up against Trojan Horse, number 28 in the world, and he's playing Ironclad. So, as I said in the deck breakdown, we're going second. We drew Gray the Bouncer. Okay, our opponent has a building. So if we were to play Gray the Balancer right now, it would not be very good. Let's just play Wretches, and then we'll probably harvest up whatever he plays. Yeah, so if our opponent plays something like Linked Golems, oh yeah, we're just gonna steal that. We would love a 10 strength scrap planners. We'll cycle Gift of the Wise first, step closer to Ulf. Then we'll play Harvesters, steal scrap planners. And next turn we'll probably play something like Gray the Balancer into Saber Paws. Debug Loggers. Oh no. So if we play Hunter's Vengeance, it will be a full clear. Let's do that actually. So we'll play Hunter's Vengeance. It'll clear everything. And then we'll play Trekking Alderman. Probably here. No, because if he has Windmakers. So actually we'll play it one tile back. And we're not afraid of Link Golems. I don't know what we're afraid of, so we'll play here. We just don't want to get hit by Windmakers. And next turn, if he does manage to trigger the upgrade point, we can play Terrifying Behemoths on whatever constructs are there. Project Phoenix. Oh no. That is not good. Oh, and it spawns in that column. Youch. Okay, so I guess we just have to play Earth Fathers, and then we'll play Sparkly Kitties or Saber Paws. We'll probably play Sparkly Kitties. No. Saber Paws. Yeah. This seems good. So we'll play Earth Fathers. Hope it survives. Alright, we just gotta pray. And then we'll play Saber Paws, Behemoths. Draining 12 strength, effectively eliminating both of those units. And then we'll save the Siege Breakers, trade Scrap Planners. We're going to be trying to get back to our Gift of the Wise into Ulf into Siege Breakers. Opponent has Link Golems. That is not going to do much, buddy. Oh, in the original blueprints. It's just too good to be true. We are about to drain everything. So, let's see. No need for Scrap Planners. There's our Gift of the Wise. And yeah, that's why we didn't want Sparkly Kittens, because now we can just play Saber Paws anywhere we want. And it's a lot better. Do we let our opponent get an additional trigger? I think we have to. Yeah, I think we have to let our opponent get that additional trigger. And then we'll just clear it. So we'll play Behemoths here. Removes 12 strength from everything. That is great. Goes to 5. Project Phoenix will finally be eliminated, which is awesome. And we have a pretty solid front line right now. We have Earth Fathers, which is very difficult to remove. We have our little Behemoths, and our opponent will probably play another upgrade point, so we'll get a nice juicy Siege Breakers. Let's hope that they don't have unstable build in Hearthguards. We couldn't really protect against that, so figured we might as well let it happen. If they have it, they have it. Ooh, are we going to see a Mia? Ah, that's kind of tough. Kind of tough. But it's fine. We're going to get a full clear right here. So, we'll play Gift of the Wise. We will play our Siege Breakers. Actually, you know what? We'll play Harvesters first. Yeah, we'll just take... Oh, no, I played it on the wrong... Wait a minute. Oh, no, we couldn't place our... Okay, whatever. It's fine. Probably should not have done that, because now our opponent has unstable build still. Or not unstable build, upgrade point. What we're supposed to do is Siege Breakers right here. So Siege Breakers, it'll clear the Siege Assembly right here. We'll play Harvesters of Souls onto this. And then we'll play Wretches on this tile. Yeah. We'll play Wretches on the tile in front of Phoenix and take that out. So now our opponent is going to have a nice fat Scrap Planners. Not good. You know, we'll trade Hunter's Vengeance. We're winning right now. Yeah, this all could have been avoided. I feel pretty dumb. But it's fine. I guess we'll just play Ulf. We don't want to let that trigger again. And we don't have a better way to clear it. So next turn, we'll just get Gray into Earth Fathers. Try to seal up the game. We're not facing lethal in any way to a random Siege Assembly. We'll be at 1 health, which is a lot better than being at 0 health, okay? Let me just say that. 1 health is better than 0 health any day of the week. and our opponent will be forced to run into that Earth Fathers over and over again, banging their head into a wall. So that's great. Let's see what they play. Maybe debug loggers? Link golems. Okay, they're just going to keep running their head into this wall. Saber pods? What will we see? Nope, none of that. None of those shenanigans. So I guess we're trading Alderman. We drew Behemoths. That is pretty nice. So right now we can just play Gray the Balancer into either Earthfathers or Behemoths. Our opponent has not shown us a runner as far as I know. So if we get a big Earthfathers, I don't think they can take it out. Especially one that's vitalized. So let's do that. Play Gray. And we'll gain that Construct's buff. Not only will we gain the Construct's buff, we'll gain another buff because it took out a unit. So it's at 19 strength. It's almost unkillable. And we drew back the Scrap Planners. We'll have 12 mana next turn, so we can play Sparkly Kittens, Scrap Planners, Behemoths. If they have Siege Assembly, we'll be at 1. Siege Assembly, do we see the Mia and the Concede? We see the Mia. I don't think there's a way to deal 1 damage. Nice. So we won that game. Nice, calculated Earthfathers for the win. Let's get into the next best deck. Alright, so this is the best deck for Shadowfen in the June 2025 season. It may look pretty familiar, and that's because it is. This is Bragda. You guys have all seen Bragda. We love Bragda. The only difference is that instead of Siren, which recently got a nerf, now it only has 10 strength, we're now playing Salty Outcast, which is 7 for 12, recently got a buff, actually. So the goal of the deck is, you're going to play a couple cheat cards early game, you're going to play Bragda, you're going to play Salty Outcast on 7 to win, or you're going to get at 8 mana, play something like Dubious Hags into Bragda, Copperskin Bragda, all of those combos, and then Salty Outcast with Toxic Sacrifice on 9. And that's a lot more difficult to block. So there's tons of ways that this deck can win. It's just really cheap, low to the ground, has a great Bragda combo, which gets way above what most people are doing. So let's get into card by card. I'll explain exactly how it works. We have Erratic Neglects. It's another cheap unit. It has wealth, good stats. You can play it with Toxic Sacrifice. So now you just have a moving Dark Harvest, which is very good. We have Green Prototypes. Best card in the game. Doesn't really need explanation. Wow, English. We have Brood Sages, which is a combo with Copperskin Rangers, Toxic Sacrifice, Heliotroopers, all those poison cards. This will allow you to get tons of Toads and then use all of those Toads to pump into a juicy Bragda. We have Copperskin Rangers. Another card to poison things, really helps with the math because sometimes you want units to be 1 strength less so that way your Prime Oracle Bragda can give more strength to everything. Okay, and it also combos with Brood Sages as mentioned before. We have Dubious Hags, which is a way that you can guarantee that you have a unit for Bragda hit. Okay, so you'll run Dubious Hags into something, it'll give you a 1 strength Raven for your opponent, and then you can hit that with Prime Oracle Bragda, buff everything on your team up to 10 strength. We have Toxic Sacrifice. I don't even know what to say about this card. It's just so good. It is probably the best removal spell in the entire game, okay? Besides Dark Harvest, this thing is the sauce. You take out one of your little toads, you deal 6 damage to everything around it, and then you also poison them, and that poison is so important because they lose 1 strength every turn, they trigger stuff like Brood Sages, it's just great. Boomstick Officers helps you survive the early game. Sometimes the board can get very clogged, and it's nice to have a way to remove things with an ability. We have Heliotroopers, a self-poison card for Brood Sages, not much more that it does. Azure Hatchers gives you a bunch of Toads, great with Toxic Sacrifice. We have Toad the Elevated, really good against Swarm, really good against the Shadowfen Mirror Match, great card in general. We have Bragda. Oh my goodness, I love Bragda. Mommy Bragda is the GOAT, okay? She buffs up all your Toads. 6 for 11 isn't that bad anyway, so you can just play her as a standalone unit. She's great. And then we have Salty Outcasts. Salty Outcasts are your runner. They finish the game. The curve of 6 mana into 7 for the game is a very good rush style. So yeah. And without further ado, let's get straight into the games and show you the power of Mommy Bragda. Nice. It looks like we found our first match. Well, not our first match. It's like our third match by now. Anyways, we're up against Dead Time Story. Pretty prominent player. Very good guy. He's playing Shadowfen, which is kind of weird. You typically see him on Swarm. Opening hand is absolutely horrible. You never want to draw green prototypes in the opener. It's just horrible. And Erratic Neglects as well. This hand is trash. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost this game. Opponent could have Azure Hatchers, though, which would be the only thing saving us here. So green prototypes, and we'll probably see Erratic Neglects. Yep. So we have to hope that our Erratic Neglects actually walks forward, which it never does. Look. Yep, confused itself. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. So we'll cycle Azure Hatchers. We have no board control whatsoever. And again, another horrible hand because we are going to have to play Copperskin Rangers. We're going to have to play Copperskin Rangers, Toxic Sacrifice. It's not guaranteed that we draw Brood Sages, so we're probably just losing. Yeah. We do draw the Brood Sages. Maybe we'll be fine. Okay, and of course, our opponent's Erratic Neglects vitalize themselves as well. This is just the worst thing that can happen. Judging by the cards our opponent's playing, they could be on some sort of Shadowfen mid-range. It could be Bragda, honestly. It could very well be Bragda. And there's the Azure Hatcher. Yep. This is smelling like Bragda. So we'll see that Azure Hatcher. Okay, our Erratic Neglects just do not want to cooperate today because now... Oh my god. There's no way. Now we cannot play Heliotroopers on this tile. It moves over here. And then we would play Brood Sages right here. Brood Sages, okay? That would trigger, gives us toads everywhere. It would be great. But no. Our Erratic Neglects is choosing to be the worst person in the entire world. So it looks like we're just going to play Boomstick Officers and the Brood Sages. As horrible as that is, it's whatever. So we could draw Bragda next turn. I mean, that would be fine. Let's see. 2 mana-wise, I think we cycle Doobie's Hags. Nah, you know what? We'll cycle Heliotroopers. I don't care. Yeah, because Doobie's Hag is Toad. There's a small chance that when we cycle, actually a pretty big chance that when we cycle Salty Outcast, we'll draw another 1 cost. But that's fine, because you want to have the 2 cost with Toad in case we can't play Bragda. So we'll see what our opponent does. He's on 6 mana, could have a Bragda of his own. Which, if he knows what our hand is, he will definitely just play Bragda. So Warfront Runners, no Bragda looks like. You don't see Warfront Runners in Bragda. And a Toxic Sacrifice. He's not going to give us anything to use. We'll trade Salty Outcasts. Don't really need them. And we'll just prepare. Okay. This is what I'm saying, guys. Why now our Erratic Neglects not only is going to kill itself, or probably shouldn't say kill itself. YouTube is a very friendly space. Our Erratic Neglects is not going to be alive anymore because it just poisoned itself. Why did it poison itself? I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, pro tip for you guys. If you play Dubious Hags, you can, on occasion, on empty board states, play in a spot where if your opponent takes it out, the token could go down to Toad. My guy is going to be having none of that. He's just going to play a Soul Crushers, but it was there. We're going to keep Toxic Sacrifice and Boomstick, and we're just going to play Bragda. It's going to be pretty difficult to remove. Everything getting buffed pretty high. And then we'll have Erratic Neglects into Toxic Sacrifice, into Boomstick, into Brood Sages. The sauce. Could have also played green prototypes on this tile. So that way they move over here. I'm trying to think of what that prevents. Prevents a couple things. But, I don't know, it would mainly just be a safeguard. I really don't, like, it feels correct, but I can't think of the benefit at this very moment. Our opponent chooses to eat 10 damage. That's fine. We're perfectly fine with that. We'll just play Erratic Neglects, Toxic Sacrifice, Brood Sages into Boomstick. And actually, we could play that up. You know what? I am going to play it up. Yeah, we can afford to eat a couple damage. I don't think we're facing lethal anything crazy. Although those words could come back to bite me. We'll just start in lethal. We'll be going down to 13. 13 is much safer than 12. So, let's see. Yeah, and all our little toadies get buffed up. Yay. So the only thing we're facing lethal to is something like Warfront Runners into Hotheads, Warfront Runners into Hotheads, Warfront Runners into Leaf Patters. But considering Celestial Summoners, I don't think that's going to be an issue. We could also see a Toxic Sacrifice come out. It looks like he cycled it a turn or two ago, so that probably won't be an issue. There's the Tikas. Okay. Because units move from left to right, that rodent that is now confused is not going to hit the other rodent. The other rodent will run until base first. And our opponent goes down to 2, which is just out of Azure Hatcher range. So that's unfortunate. Ooh, let's see. This is pretty neat. I think we're just preventing... We're just trying to prevent something crazy here. It's pretty tough to block all the angles. Because no matter what we do, there's almost always space for a runner. Let's cover most of the bases first. We'll just play Helo Troopers. We'll play Toad. Have it go up so we're almost guaranteed frontline. And then I guess we'll just play Copperskin. Yeah, there's not much we can do. Toxic Sacrifice into a runner will be lethal, but we have to take that risk. Because we have a runner of our own next turn. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There wasn't really a way to block that. Because no matter where we place Toad, it will just jump away. So it's not a great blocker. It's more of an offensive card. We see the Soul Crushers. Okay, we're not facing lethal. And that's probably game. There's no way our opponent can block. The Saber Paws. Oh, wait, no, they have a chance if Toad is silly. Toad is a little bit silly. Let's see. So I guess just trade green prototypes. And we'll play Destructobots into Bragda. Or sorry, Boomstick into Bragda. That'll buffer everything up. Everything's blocking, and then we'll have Dubious, Toxic Sacrifice, Salty Outcast. We're getting through eventually. Okay, the Curse of Strings. That would be a little bit scary if we didn't have Salty Outcast in hand. Because, wow, our opponent just got full Curse of Strings value. He paid 6 mana for 34 mana worth of value. Gifted Recruits. Alright, and that is game. We'll give the handshake, see what we would have drawn. It's a Brood's Ages. We'll just play Salty Outcast. Nice. That was our best Shadowfen deck. Let's hop into the final deck for Ironclad. And coming up last, but most certainly not least, we have Robot Varmints, which actually placed #1 in the world last season. This deck is a combination of both of the ancient units that have 2 types for Ironclad. So we have Absorbing Varmints, which are both a rodent and an ancient. Okay, before moving, it pulls units from behind and then deals damage to them. And we have Original Blueprints, which is a construct in an ancient and gives 4 strength to a random surrounding friendly unit. The synergy between these cards is crazy. This deck is so fast, so consistent. The mana curve is perfect. The cards it plays are super high quality. This is just the best deck in Stormbound right now. If you play this, you are going to rank up. So I highly recommend it. Let's just get into the card by card, and I'll show you guys the sauce, okay? This deck is beautiful. Absolutely perfect. We have Erratic Neglects, okay? 1 mana, 5 strength. Not only is it an ancient, which is very synergistic in this deck with stuff like Absorbing Varmints. It's also a cheap unit that has 5 value. Okay, you play 1 mana, have 5 value. You can buff it up with Debug Loggers. You can buff it up with Blueprints. You can use it to block for your other units like Lost Psyches, Linked Golems, Boomstick Officers. You can use it to block for Operators, and now suddenly even Siren won't save your opponent because they have to have something to take this out. It's just so good. It's perfect in this deck, honestly. You have green prototypes, which in addition to being the best card in the game, just as a unit alone, it's also a construct. So it works with stuff like Link Golems. It's just great. It's awesome. We have Destructobots, the best 2-drop, honestly, in the whole game still. It's just a better Gifted Recruits. And we also have Gifted Recruits because, believe it or not, it's a great card. You have Wild Saberpaws. It's a runner. It helps you get up the field because there's a lot of one, like, I think everything in this deck moves at least 1, except for Radic Complex. Yeah, everything has 1 unit, 1 movement. This has 2, helps you get up the field. Boomstick Officers helps you deal damage from behind. Combined with Absorbing Varmints, you ignore everything your opponent plays. And then right before they get into your base, you pull them all back, you deal damage to them, and you rinse and repeat. It's great. We have Link Golems. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 constructs in the deck. So Link Golems is always getting a lot of value. 3 for 11 is phenomenal. It's very hard to get rid of. It creates awkward body strengths where your opponents can't really clear them with 1 or 2 units. They typically have to invest 3 or more. We have Lost Psyches, 3 for 7. It's an ancient. It dodges a lot of cards. It teleports around and it's impossible to block. You just have to hope you get lucky. So that's great. Yeah, it's really evasive, so it helps with triggering your Absorbing Varmints. It helps with triggering your original Blueprints, your Debug Loggers, has all that synergy. And then we have Absorbing Varmints, the strongest card in this deck. It makes everything work. It pulls stuff from behind, makes it so you can ignore everything. It's great. Original Blueprints. This card was previously undiscovered until recently, where people found out that it is broken. So this gives strength before moving, and the thing is now they either have to take this out or take the newly buffed up unit out, which sometimes proves very difficult. We have Debug Loggers, helps you beat the Toads matchup, which is your most difficult matchup. Helps you beat Winter Control, any other control mid-range decks. This gives so much strength that it's almost illegal. And then we have Operators. You could also run a runner in this slot, but Operators, you'll get to mana 8, and normally that's when this deck could start to fall off, but then you play 8 for 26 in the corner. They can't take it out. It's game over. So I'm really excited to show this deck off. Let's just get straight into the match, guys. It looks like we found our match up against Tony Soprano. This guy must be Italian. Please forgive me if his name actually isn't Italian. Okay? I'm just an American. I have no idea. But this sounds like an Italian name. We have the Ozone Purifier start. This means that we don't have to worry about unhealthy Hysteria at this very moment. So we'll cycle Debug Loggers, and we'll just play Absorbing Varmints. Let's see, we'll play it in the middle. Right here, we'll try and ignore what our opponent is doing. This does run into Eloth, but really any placement does. So let's see what they do. We see Destructobots, maybe an unstable build. There is an unstable build. Okay, that's fine. So actually what we can do is we can just play, we'll cycle Lost Psyches, and then we'll play green prototypes into original Blueprints and hope that our opponent does not have Boomstick. Because yeah, no matter where we place this, we're facing a Boomstick. So you know what, let's make it so even if they do have Boomstick, they're not clearing this. Yeah, I don't think this gets cleared by Boomstick, only by something like Gifted Recruits into Westwind Sailors. That'll clear it. And then we'll get a Boomstick Officers, taking out their construct. We'll cycle Operators, and we might just play Gifted Recruits into Erratic Neglects. So we see the Windmakers come out. Oh, wait, that's actually more than fine. Wait a minute, we're in a good spot. Cycle Operators. Ooh, and a Linked Golems. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I guess we'll just play Link Golems out. Play Link Golems. Play Gifted Recruits. We'll play an Ironclad. Notice how we're ignoring everything that our opponent's doing, okay? Because we're going to draw our Absorbing Varmints, and we're going to be very, very happy. And also, we're threatening lethal right now. Because if our opponent lets this stuff run in, it's going to get buffed up by original blueprints and be very scary. Okay, opponent's blocking up. That's fine. It's looking like they have Hearthguards. That's just a tad scary. So it looks like they took all of that damage. We're going to cycle Lost Sykes. We draw our Absorbing Varmints back, and look at the value. We play Boomstick Officers. We play Absorbing Varmints, and suddenly we went from our opponent going on the aggressive to now they have no attack. We only took 2 damage from all of those units on our baseline. That was phenomenal. What a play. And now this game is just over. There's nothing our opponent can do, and it's crazy that something like this can even exist. Oh no, they got so unlucky with that Hunter's Vengeance, and they give up. That match only lasted like 2-3 minutes. So just to recap, we have the Swarm Pirates deck, best deck for Swarm right now. We have Winter Control, best deck for Winter right now. Mommy Bragda, best deck for Shadowfen. And last, but certainly not least, the best deck in the game, Robot Varmints. Okay, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Really enjoy making competitive content like this. As always, if you guys liked it, like the video, subscribe, comment your favorite part. Really helps me out. But with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. As always, stay safe.